got a failed Crypt Raider sighting here. There you go. Take care, buddy. Alrighty, so what we need is this illegible scroll number 1. Okay, the next 3 scrolls, the next 3 illegible scrolls, are in the City of Mist, which I think Constance and Charlie have never been to the City of Mist. Neither of their epics are there, if you consider just the regular monk epic. But the Ixar monk epic is there, as is the Ixar Shadow Knight epic. And the Shaman epic is there. So if I were boxed with the Shaman, I probably would have spent more time in the City of Mist. The mob we're after is called a Spectral Courier. He is in the stables, and we're going to show you how to get there. He has another spawn point too, but his main area is the stables. Gosh, I remember back in Era being just so scared of running through here. And I remember it being a lot darker. You couldn't really see anything in the Emerald Jungle, but this is much easier. Less scary. It's kind of like watching a scary movie, but knowing what's going to happen. Alright, so in we go. Yeah, so the Spectral Courier is the big bottleneck for the Shaman epic. He drops the Student's Log for the Shaman epic, and that's what takes them so long to get that part of the Shaman epic done. But he also drops the illegible scroll. And let's see if anybody's here. There might be. Yeah, there's people here. Get the heck out of here. All right, so yeah, so the illegible scroll. I'm not sure if he drops all 3 illegible scrolls. So, as is sometimes the case, especially on a live server, is quest NPCs will drop more than 1 quest item, as we saw with the Brother Balatin. That Brother Balatin fight, he dropped 2 flutes. Alrighty. Shadow, Plaguebone. Okay. Leave. So he might drop more than 1 scroll. Okay, we just be a little kill factory here. Oh, that's a cool thing, being boxed with 2 rogue mercenaries. It's great. You just kill everything. Okay, so the Student's Log. So to get to the stables, you basically just turn left and go into these stables, and that's all it is. And the Spectral Courier is typically this away. That's where I got him, and I think he's on a 16-minute spawn timer, so what I was going to do is kill all this stuff, and then on Charlie Cheese's account have Everquest Highwayman maybe check for the other scrolls. Are you a Spectral Courier? No, you're an apparition. So he can spawn anywhere here. Dreadwrath? Wow. Okay. What did he drop? An Ornate Rune Blade. Nice. What else did I kill? Greater Spurbone. Okay. Alright. Captain of the Guard. Okay. Yeah, I remember these guys. Ugh. Alright. Plaguebone. I think I remember him being up there. But yeah, you just gotta kill everything here. Gosh, I remember being here with my shaman back in the day. So irritating. Spurbone. I was thinking of actually coming here with my ranger and maybe seeing If I could use track, an apparition. Warborn Overlord. Ooh, it's a fancy shield. Shield of the Mist. Mana Preservation 3. That's very nice. Crier Scroll. Onyx. Trooper Shield. Stone Key. I think I might need that Stone Key. Yeah, so I gotta look in my log here. So, Spurbone. That is an apparition. Nothing. Spurbone. Plaguebone Warlord. Not lots of names. Spectral Courier, there he is. Nice, what did he drop? He dropped... Man, not a nice loot. Alright, there's my friend. Hey, buddy. Alrighty, so I need the illegible scroll. He should have dropped a student's log. Okay, so this is going to Constance. Yep. There we are. Boom. So we're going to take the West Stables, apparition. There's a courier again. Just kill him again. Alright. Okay, that looks like one more scroll. So it doesn't look like he always drops a student's log. And the Plagueborn Warlord is back up, so that's good. Okay, so these are the first 4 scrolls from City of Mist. Missing footage of scroll number, I think number 2, but you get the idea. Just kill this guy over and over again, and you'll eventually get all 4 scrolls. Kind of like the fingered skeleton. So anyways, now on to Mistmore. Okay, here's our Dark Librarian, which will take that tome, thank you very much. So now we need a Dark Librarian Assistant. Okay, we have tracking on a Dark Assistant Librarian. Let's see here. Let's track her. I think she's in the throne room, or maybe a bedroom off to straight ahead. Okay. Okay, she's probably in a bedroom. That guest room right there. Yeah. All right. Leave. There she is. There's the Dark Assistant Librarian. Alright, there's the last illegible scroll. Alright, I am getting out of here. Alrighty. So, Danger Bud did his job, and now we have to go to the Frontier Mountains to get to start the second half of the Crusader's Test of the Lord. You know, it's really great that that these scrolls are tradable, and that my ranger could simultaneously kill names and named placeholders in Castle Mistmore while I was in the City of Mist, getting killing the Spectral Courier. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I was reading this book, which I don't think this has been reported in any lore forum. So this is pretty cool. We know the first tome from Gandan Tailfist, but the second tome from the Harbinger of Fear, or Kazakh Thul, whoever you talk to, reads as follows. The fists shall be bored again for you. Take with you this satchel covered with flayed skin. So that's the flayed skin satchel, this 4-slot container. All right. Fill it with 4 items of power. The original fists, which no longer have their power. the flute of Xanfi, given to and taken from the undead brother, and that's Brother Balatin. Also place in the satchel the remains of Grandmaster Tin, the bones forever strong, and finally the remains of Xanfi, still resonating with power. Seek once again the great Lord Kazakh-Thul. Return to him 2 flayed tomes and a full satchel, and the instruments of pain shall be bestowed onto you. So those are the Whistling Fists. So really cool in the story. What I like is that with the Monk Epic quest for humans, you get 2 halves of a metal pipe, one from Chardok and one from Karnor's castle, and you give them to Brother Balatin, and essentially the end of the story, as we're told, is that Brother Balatin, is given eternal peace. From the lizard perspective, right? We don't want Brother Balatin to have eternal peace. We want him to have eternal torment. So what you do is you create this mockery of a flute, and you give it to Brother Balatin, who immediately calls you out and says, "Oh, you must be a monk of Kabbalists," and he immediately attacks you. So you kill him, and then you steal, you re-steal the fully assembled flute of Xanfi from Brother Balatin. So you take it back. So Brother Balatin gets to lose his master's flute twice, which is awesome. Yay. So you're definitely told the story of the monk from 2 perspectives. So that's one thing I like about this quest is you do get the Ixar perspective, you get the Sith perspective or the Decepticon perspective, and I think it's really good when you're telling lore to not just tell one side of the story, you got to tell the other side, so and yeah, I'm kind of crossing the 4th wall, but for every Jaladar there's a Lord Ganak, I think what the story does demonstrate is hubris, the fact that Xanfi had hubris, and naivete of Brother Balatin is really foolish, and I think what the human monks, what the Ixar allege more or less, is that human monks are limiting change by trying to hold on to all these old artifacts. And really, the Ixar monk is the way of the future of the Whistling Fists. So I kind of like taking the story and going with it beyond the classic timeline for this very reason. And it's one of the reasons why I play this game is searching for these gems, which you typically don't get because either it's an equivalent item or it can't be used to manufacture your 1.5, so nobody ends up doing it. So, but yeah, you definitely get some good story arc here for sure. So anyways, back to the real world. I need to go to the Frontier Mountains and look for some goblins. I might recruit my ranger again to do some tracking for me. I do need to look for some keys. One cool thing about a live server or a TLP is you have this recover tab where if you've thrown away a key that you don't know what it is, like for example this charred bone key or this dull bone key, which you might have needed for a quest like this, you can look for it. I don't think I threw away those keys though. I did throw away some Defiant gear, which probably would have sold in the bazaar. So yeah, but rather than to go over all of this recovery, because I don't think viewers really want to see that. I think they want juicy lore and video of me fighting some crazy mobs in the middle of nowhere. I don't think I'm gonna try to recover these items. I think I'm just gonna go after them. Another thing you can do is under the advanced loot settings, you can say edit and you search by like 100 search, and I might have added it to my never, so if it drops, it's important to go through your loot filters and make sure that there are no keys here. Let's just look for a key. There's a stone key, so let's just go ahead and just say always need on that. So that was I probably let that rot in wherever I was killing, and that might not be the stone key that I was looking for. So that's kind of like just a little tidbit for people that might actually need an item that they intended to that they never intended to look for. They didn't think they needed. But now they do. So go over your loot settings and go over your recovery tab. All right, so I'm going to go to the Frontier Mountains and look for these goblins. See you in a bit. Okay, so what you're going to need is a named goblin, one of two named goblins, either a goblin penmaster or a goblin pen keeper. And they will either spawn here in Droga Jail, and I showed you how to get here in a previous video, and he would spawn right here where the goblin janitor spawns, who also drops the key. The key also drops off the prison warden, and the key thing to note with the Droga Jail key is that it's temporary. Okay, so it might help to come here with a lockpicker. All right. And what you're looking for is you're looking for a bone necklace, a bone key, and a stone key that either drop off the goblin pen keeper or the pen master. Now the problem is they don't always drop the key you want. So sometimes they drop like a copper key or a brass key or a steel key, so that's the problem. You have to just keep killing them over and over until they drop the key you're looking for. The Droga Jail key will open up any of the cell doors, and what you're going to do is you're going to place the pages of a stupendous tome into this device, this stupendous contraption deal. It's a pottery wheel. You place all the pages in here along with the needle, and then you make the stupendous tome. Now, the stupendous tome is used for the Ixar-only Shadow Knight quest called the Green Mist, but it's also used for the monk-only monk epic quest called the Whistling Fists. So just wanted to show you how to do that. One thing that I can also show you very quickly, aside from a hide button, that as a ranger, for example, we don't necessarily get an AoE. We get this sort of barrage of arrows that acts, it's like an arc spell. So a 5 to 355 degree arc around the character. This is pretty cool. What you do is you kind of gather up mobs. And this might help if the pen keeper's outside. Now the pen keeper can spawn here or it can spawn outside in the Frontier Mountains. So we'll just gather up, I don't know, maybe like 5 or 6 mobs. And this is a good way to get all your area clear, so that if I have to do a turn in or whatever, it's clear and easy for my monk to get here. So what we want to do is group them up, kind of squeeze them through a little tube there in the wall. Kind of try to target the center here, and then hit barrage of arrows. There you go. That pretty much took care of my pile. Now all of my corpses are, well, in theory, they're supposed to be confined to this little area, so there's not corpses everywhere. So anyways, that's how a ranger does it. Hide. Probably need an auto hide button. And an innate camo. So anyways, the pen keeper can spawn there. And what I'm going to do is run out and show you where else the pen keeper can spawn, where he's more likely to spawn. All right, see you in a bit. Okay, so here's where the pen keeper is more likely to spawn. So what you do is you go southeast of the Temple of Droga in the Frontier Mountains, and you head towards the Goblin Caves. Just go right in and run all the way down to right where those 2 Ixar were, if you recall. There's a Briarweb Spider. Is this thing named? What the heck's he doing here? He doesn't belong here. So we have an Ixar slave and then an enslaved Ixar. You don't want to attack them. So what you want to do is basically just clear all this trash that's in here. Tome of the Eternal. For Ixar necromancers. Huh. Okay, interesting. So, yeah, clear all the stuff in this room. And killed this adept. And we'll pretty much do the same thing we did last time. Chant rock. Oh, gosh. Just said I needed that. All right. And, all right, so let's go ahead and do this group up thing. Grab these guys, head into this room. Again, squeeze them through a small opening. And get them all kind of lined up. Right now we have Fabled event going on. This guy drops a bunch of crap. Just kind of drag them all into like a nice clean little pile. About right there. Hopefully this works. There you go. All gone. None of this is worth anything. Just throw it all away. So yeah, you see how you just kind of pile them up like nice and neat right into a corner there. You do it again. And the cool thing is, you know, I can hide corpse and track. And I'm looking for a goblin pen keeper or a goblin pen master. And they typically spawn right here in this room. The cool thing is you have a chance to spawn two. Sometimes they spawn at the same time. This time, neither spawned. We got a spider for some reason. Yeah, sometimes you just pick them off with an arrow. There's another room up here. So what I've been doing is just clearing these out completely. And I'm just getting gear for my enchanters. So I just keep the Defiant cloth gear. Okay, so this is a good example. We have the pen keeper and the pen master here grouped up. So we'll go ahead and pull them in. Hopefully they'll drop the stone key. Nope, not there. And that's a bone key, which I already have, which I can actually loot. So, you know, because this is for the stupendous tome, yeah, he dropped the copper key. Because this is for the stupendous tome, and because the stupendous tome can be for both the monk epic, the Ixar monk epic, so the what do you call it, the Whistling Fists, and the Ixar Shadow Knight epic, called the Crusaders of Green Mist. You can actually put the various drops into your own account because they're tradable, as well as your shared account. So in other words, I can share all these drops with Constance, and then if I ever decided to make a Shadow Knight in the future and wanted to do Green Mist, for the same reason I'm doing the Whistling Fists, you know, I could do that. Okay. There's Mr. Enslaved Ixar. Amiable. Different. Let's see if I can avoid that guy. Hail. Okay, so what you're gonna... Of course. I'm just trying to free your prisoner. Why do you make it so difficult, jerk? Here, I'll make it easy for you. There you go. Sure. Alright. Alright, so to this guy you give a bone key, a bone necklace, and a stone key. There you are. Give that to him. Then he gives you this needle, coarse iron needle. At last, the keys which shall bring me freedom, I thank you. Here's the contraption needle. Good luck. Okay, so we take this, and now we have to make the stupendous tome. Okay, here we are inside the jail. Let's get the contraption opened up. Boom. Let's see, just open that bag. There you go. Okay, in go all the pages. And of course, Iron Needle. Boom. So there's the stupendous tome. Can't read it. The Tome of Voknaknov. Okay, let's get out of here. Okay, you sneak, because this guy hates me. You get him a Crusader's coffin. Buy one of those. Alright. Okay, so then you find this guy in Trakanon's Teeth. Crusader of Rhaegor. And just skipping over his dialogue really quickly because I feel I'm about to be jumped by a bunch of ghosts. You give him the stupendous tome and a Crusader's coffin. Boom. And he despawns. You basically put him to rest, and you just spawned a gigantic Tyrannosaurus Rex somewhere. So, boom. And we're going to head to Old Sebulus. There he is. Alrighty. So now we're going to get the Thule-touched bones to Constance cheese. Yep. Okay, I think you take these 4 items. So these 2 sets of bones, Xanfi's flute, and then these faintly glowing fists. There you go. Okay. So now you have a satchel of Kazakh Thule. So to Kazakh Thule, this is now I'm at the last part. To Kazakh Thule, you have to give him the bag of bones, right? The satchel of Kazakh Thule. And the 2 tomes. So the flayed skin tome that we got from Gandan Tailfist, and the flayed skin tome we got from either Kazakh Thule himself or the Harbinger of Fear. So these 3 items. And then you get the Whistling Fists. And so that should be good. And we're raiding Kazakh Thule in about, or Plane of Fear in about 1 hour. So we'll see you soon. Okay, here it goes. Boom. Yes. All right, that worked. Let me link this. nice. Very nice. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Okay, so here we are the next day in the final analysis. When you click the Whistling Fists, you get Jonathan's Whistling War Song here that pops up. Increases the speed of your attacks and raises your armor class and strength. Well, my strength is capped, so that's a little superfluous. To show how much, strength was 391. Right click it, 426. So significantly, once they raise the caps, or once I level, might have an influence. When you look at armor class, 565 to 567, so 2 in my armor class. And with haste, the haste number goes from 141 to 166, so I think that's 24, if I'm doing my math correctly. So now if I click the Celestial Fist, the human monk epic, we go from 141 to 181, so it's a 40% increase in the haste number. We click on armor class 565 to 568, so that's 3. And there are no increases in strength, so there you go. And then this is the clicky effects Celestial Tranquility. So increases attack speed, and armor class. So let's look at my attack number. Attack goes from 658 to 698. So that's up by 40. Let's see if the Whistling Fist affects the attack number. No, it does not. So the Whistling Fists affect the strength number, and the Celestial Fists affect the attack number. So let's see if they stack. So click them both at the same time. So strength went up, attack went up. Haste is capped at 181, so it's not like the Celestial Fists clicky and the Whistling Fist clicky are additive. That's not true. But the armor class is additive, so if you click on both, 565, 67, 570. So yeah, the armor class will add. So that's a whopping 8 to, or a whopping 5 to my armor class. So it does help, but it's negligible. I mean, almost very, very negligible. A 5 to your armor class is good. To strength, that's already capped, that's good. Attack is good. Eventually, that'll be capped. So yeah, they're nice items. They look cool. When you look at the Whistling Fists here, I'm offhanding it. It actually has a pretty decent ratio compared to what I was using. So if we look at my blunt weapon, I'm offhanding the Intricate Defiant Hammer. So if you actually look at maybe offhanding the Whistling Fists, the attack or the ratio is the same. So they hit for, they'll parse the same. So then you look at stats. Again, I'm stat capped, so that you can just pretty much neglect the stat column. They do give me 5 armor class, and the Intricate Defiant Hammer does not give me armor class. It just gives me hit points. So, and then the Intricate Defiant Hammer will give me resists, and I'm not resist capped, so it might be better to use this. But you do get some armor class here, so it is a very modest increase in armor class versus a fairly significant increase in my resists, and those resists definitely help. Increasingly, we're going to encounter resist checks, especially in Planes of Power. So what I do is, I've got several bandoliers. I've got my I dual wield blunt weapons. Then I have my 2-hander, my range, and then I also have a Tash bandolier, which I'll show here. The range is going to be this Fabled Knuckle Duster, and then the Whistling Fists. The Celestial Fists, that is not a weapon. That's important to note, is that's a hand item, so it goes in the hand slot. So you would either wear that as a piece of armor, and the Intricate Defiant armor is much better than the Celestial Fist. I can show you that right here. We're talking you know, much more AC, attack, hit point regen. Um, Stats are all better. You get heroic stats. So yeah, you definitely want to have the best armor class in your hand slot. So you don't actually equip the Celestial Fist. You just use the clicky effect. But I will offhand the Whistling Fist for the time being whenever I bandolier over to range. It doesn't have the same effect, the same animation as the Celestial Fist, which stink. It's just kind of like this glowing orb. And yes, we are having the Fabled event, so I got these Fabled Knuckle Dusters. This is I got this out of the Seb Crypt while I was there, working on the Whistling Fists. And like I said, I do have a bandolier to attach, so I got the Fabled Journeyman's Walking Stick, which you can dual wield with a regular Journeyman's Walking Stick. So it's pretty nice in that you can dual wield the items that have the same proc. So I have a Tash bandolier with these two Journeyman's Walking Sticks, and essentially I can now Tash. It's a pretty low level Tash. It's about 25 to MR that you're taking off, but it's nice. And then you can quickly bandolier over to dual wield, you know, much better damage delay weapons. With my two-hander, and I did want to give a shout-out to Kid, K-I-D, in my guild. He very generously gave me a Bashi's Rod of Disempowerment, and he also gave me a Shrink Clicky yesterday, which is a very nice item. This is the Bracelet of the Shadow Hive, which is nice. What I can do is I can target Charlie here, and it's a targetable Shrink. So I can shrink them all the way down. Isn't that nice? Make them a weedy Ixar, and then I can do the same thing with myself. So it is targetable, and it has a very quick cast time. So having the ability to shrink down is absolutely key, especially when you're in tight spaces. So you know, definitely a very nice item to have. Thank you so much, Kid, for giving it. And if you actually look. You know, it's actually getting right up there with the rings that I'm currently wearing. You know, with respect to the sapphire adorned brood ring versus the bracelet of the Shadow Hive. I mean, this is almost something I would wear. But yeah, he got this out of Vexthal for me, and then he got this Abashi's Rod of Disempowerment. This is a much better damage delay weapon, much better stats, and resists on it than my previous weapon. I was using an intricate Defiant two-hander. So yeah, it's almost double the ratio. So I led the parse last night when we killed Kazakh with this weapon. So definitely have Kid to thank for that, and definitely everyone in my guild, thank you so much for helping. It's an absolute blast making videos again, and look forward to being on raids whenever I can join. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed the Whistling Fist content. And yeah, stay tuned for more videos. Take care, everybody. Bye. Let's see here.
Farewell.
I think Charlie can do this too here. Let's see. In Ixar form. Let's see. Voice and... There you go.
Take care.